Good afternoon and welcome to the Maureen Pound Show, where I get extraordinary insights from cool business people. Now, I've been in business about 17 years and I've always had an accountant during that time. And my accountant he's a lovely bloke, really good attention to detail, did the books, he was fine. But there came a stage in my business where I wanted more than that. I wanted more of an advisor, someone to give me business insights and advice and, help me during COVID, what support I can get from the government and all those sorts of things. So I looked around, I looked far and wide in my networks to find someone who everyone spoke really highly about. It took me a couple of years, but I'd finally converted to Paul Dobson. He's an absolute legend, an amazing accountant, but more than that, he helps you grow your business. He's that rock beside you through your business journey. So welcome, Paul. Now,
awesome.
Sorry, off mute. So welcome to the show. I always like to ask people straight up to share something a little bit different or quirky, just so we can get to know you.
Oh, good afternoon, Maureen. Yeah, great to join you. Thank you. What's a bit quirky about me? I once had an article about me written that I was a future Wimbledon champion when I was a junior as a tennis player. So that's my only claim to fame in relation to sport. I have a feeling mum or dad might have actually written it and sent it into the newspaper. But that's probably one of the most quirky things. It's a claim to fame that I hang on to dearly because I love my tennis and I love my sport.
Excellent. Did they frame it and put it in the pool room? The article?
Mum has it somewhere. It was only about 2 or 3 paragraphs, and I used to be able to play, but these days the mind's willing, but the body not so much.
Yeah, I can relate. Although we did do the Thailand bike ride together, so we survived that.
Absolutely, still one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've ever had. Yeah, you and I holding up the rear at the end of all the riders. We'll never ever forget that. So,
making sure that van didn't have to pick us up.
Correct.
Excellent. So let's jump in. So we're going to be talking today about all things accounting, but Paul's not your average accountant. We're going to be looking today at choosing a good accountant and what you need to look out for when you're doing this to make sure that you're finding someone who can actually help you, support you in your business and grow your business ongoing. So we're going to be covering off 6 key elements today. So Paul, jumping straight in, you've mentioned to me before that it's really important that your accountant understands business. Now, this would seem elementary, wouldn't it? So tell me about this.
Yeah, I think it does, but often one of the key things business owners really struggle with is having an accountant that engages with them, that they communicate really well with. And yeah, we're going to talk about some things today that do seem very fundamental, but it's a message that we really want our clients to understand, that we know what we're doing, and we want to know that them to know that we understand their business. So it's really, really important, and it starts from the point of engagement. When you're working with a client for the first time, you really want an accountant that's going to take some time to understand what you're all about, because we can be far better advisors if we really understand you and your business.
Yeah, great. And so tell me about what you mean by, being advisors.
So advisors is it's more than just punching out a tax return. You really need someone that can cover a lot of bases, that can be a really trusted advisor for all sorts of things. So it may well be that some assistance is required around planning, marketing, strategies, all sorts of things that help a business owner grow. Business owners have lots of questions, and your accountant's got to be able to cover a lot of bases. It's more than just basically doing a set of compliance accounts.
Yeah. Okay, great. And so in terms of where, the starting point, look, how do you know if an accountant's going to understand the ins and outs of your business?
Good point. So most accountants cover a lot of bases. We all have different levels of clients in our practices. And I think the key thing is to really ask your accountant very simple questions about your business. So at Kelly Partners, we actually have a book that we actually provide to our clients, And it talks about all the questions that you should be asking your accountant to make sure that you're maximising the value that you're getting out of that relationship with them. And it's something unique to our business that not a lot of accountants offer.
Yep, that's great. So the book's available to anyone viewing today. So we'll put that link up there a little bit later. So this concept of understanding your business. So Paul, I know you work everything, from businesses in the racing industry. You work with our business. We've got a VA support business. You've got, all sorts of businesses. How can the accountants know the ins and outs of all those different types of businesses?
I think there's a fundamental thing. We certainly operate in various niches, that's for sure. But the fundamentals about running businesses are very standard across the board. So there's certain building blocks that need to be put in place. So key starting points are understanding people's structures, making sure they've got the right structure, making sure that the business allows them to operate, and as that business grows, allows that business to minimise tax, stream income out, provide asset protection, but allow that business to really evolve and flourish. The other thing around it is to make sure that the business owner's wealth creation strategies and plans outside of their business that they've put in place flow with that business structure. So the key thing is really understanding what that business is doing, what its capacity to grow is. Are there structures in place that are going to allow it to grow? If it grows, will those structures provide all the right mechanisms to allow minimising tax legitimately, streaming of income to spouses and family members where possible, bring equity partners in if the opportunity presents itself, and a whole range of other things. And quite often we'll have new clients come in, and I've had a couple of examples this week where people have come into us and they can't even explain their structure. They've had their accountant for 9 or 10 years, and I asked them, well, how was their business set up? How is it operating? And they actually can't explain that to me. So it's a really simple thing to sit down with those clients and actually flush out with them, what is their business doing? What does it look like? How does the structure operate? And how can they best maximize that? Because every business owner is working damn hard. And particularly in this environment, every business owner is working hard to survive. You want to make sure that wherever your business is at, that you're squeezing the lemon as best as you possibly can. You're getting the best advice. You're minimizing your tax as much as you possibly can. And you're then using your funds and cash flows that you're generating to put that back into the business and grow your business.
Yeah, great. And so you've mentioned that the structure needs to support where you're heading with the business. Can you give me a bit of a scary story, because you've told me a few over the years, Paul, of what could happen if you don't do that? Where businesses have not kept an eye on that, not got the right advice from you. What could possibly happen?
Yeah, so look, I'll give a great example. So one of the leads that we had off our website a few weeks ago, a business owner they've had their accountant for 17 years. Their business operates in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and they've grown a business from $200,000 turnover to turning over $16 million. It's an awesome business. And sort of forget the numbers. It doesn't matter whether you're turning over 20,000 and you grow up to 200 or you're 200 to 16 million. The philosophy is always the same. That business is structured very poorly. There's no ability. There's 7 family members involved in that business, and the business is making significant profits. And there's no ability within that structure to be able to stream those profits out to those 7 family members. The business was set up 14 years ago, and over that journey, their accountant has actually not spoken to them about the structure and the fact that it won't allow things to occur within that, and they've just let it flounder along. So that business owner is now in a position where he's probably going to have to spend somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000 and incur significant possible capital gains tax issues to restructure that business. And we've sort of flushed that out in a discovery session with them initially. One of the things that we do different to a lot of firms is we'll sit down and we'll provide our clients with a checklist. And that checklist covers around 62 questions. And the reason for doing that is we want to invest in understanding what makes the business tick, to make sure that the business could evolve and not have these situations occur where this business owner now has a major problem about how do they minimise their tax, which is just one part of it, but it's a huge part of it when you've got a successful business. Multiple other examples of small business owners operating as sole traders when they really should have some sort of corporate protection because they're in an industry where there's risk attached and they may be sued, but no one's really ever spoken to them about it. Or they're operating through a trust structure, which may not give them an opportunity to bring an equity partner in. So lots of little examples. And what I would implore people listening today is, if you're not sure about your structure, are you not sure about how it's working? Are you getting the maximum value out of it? Pick up the phone and ring your accountant and ask them, and just have a chat with them and say, am I doing the best with with the structure that I'm working with?
Yeah, beautiful. And so we've talked about, them understanding the business and the implications of them not understanding the vision, but the business. But connected to that is understanding the vision. So when that example you gave of that family business where they've started really low and now they're at 16 million, they obviously had a vision to make it happen. Some sort of vision in there somewhere. So tell me about why it's important for your accountant to understand your vision, or even for you to understand your vision and relay it to your accountant.
It's critical, because it means that we can be thinking ahead for them. So one of the things that I do when I'm working with our clients is I want to know where they're at, where they want to get to, and how they want to get to that. And then part of my role as their advisor and their trusted advisor is not just talk to them about tax along the way, it's helping them actually map out a plan to grow. How are they going to improve that bottom line? How are they going to improve the level of clients that they've got? How are they going to improve their conversions to their clients? And if I can understand what makes them tick, I can give them some insights and ideas into that. Because obviously we have a big advantage. We see lots of different business owners in lots of different industries. So we can pull that knowledge that we've got and the experience that we've got, and we can give them an insight into how they can make changes. I'll give a really simple example. Several months ago, I was asked to assist a hairdressing salon. The lady had been in the hairdressing salon for a long period of time, and she wanted to sell that business. And her accountant said, I can't help you with selling. I don't do that sort of thing. So she was referred to me. First question I asked her is, where is her database of her clients? Where are their email addresses? Where are their phone numbers? And she said, it's all up here. It's all in my head. My customers know me. And I said, well, that's not sellable, unfortunately. You think your business is worth so much money and you've just told me you want to get a certain price, but someone else comes along, they can't buy what's in your head. So we had to sit down with a plan of getting that data, getting that information, and being able to put that in a position where it actually was able to be handed over to a new owner. She'd been trying to sell that for 2 years. Subsequent to putting that process in place and getting that information, she was able to sell, and she was able to nearly get the price that she wanted. But she'd been in business for 32 years and no one had ever actually said to her, capture that information. It sounds simple. It sounds simple to business owners sitting out there listening, that someone doesn't have a database of their clients. But a lot of people still get the fundamentals wrong. So that's a key thing in your accountant and your advisor, understanding your business about where you're at. Are you starting up? Are you in the middle stages, or are you at exit stage? And are you planning to achieve the right result no matter where you're at?
Yeah. And I love it too, because when we have chats, and even with that initial chat, you ask me some hard questions that sometimes I didn't have the answer to. So it actually causes you to, or prompts you to go away and think that through yourself.
Correct. That's one of the things I love about my job and what I do. We get to talk to a lot of different business owners, and I like to challenge people, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that in some capacity you're better off by virtue of dealing with us and the questions that we're asking and the help that we're providing, and that you can move forward, grow your business and get a better result.
Yes. Excellent. So we've talked about your accountant making sure that they understand your business. We've talked about them being able to handle your vision and actually prompting you to be clear on your own vision for your business. And you've also said to me too, Paul, that the other key thing is having the arsenal and the tools to have your back. So tell me more about that.
Okay, so let's have an example of that. So Warren Buffett, the world famous sort of investor in the US, has got a saying that he says, when the tide goes out, you see who's been swimming in the nude. And right now, and in the COVID environment since March, April, there's been a lot of people swimming in the nude. There's been a lot of businesses that aren't organised. They haven't had their systems in place. They haven't had their books and records up to date properly. So from our point of view, we want to make sure that if we want to have everyone's back. If they've got a problem, we'll fix it. If they've got an issue, we'll fix it. If they've got something bad happening, we'll help them solve it. If we can't solve it, have we got someone in our network that can help them solve it? If their business is lacking in a particular area, can we refer them to global teams to get a VA, for example? All of those types of things to help them improve where they're at. So your accountant should be someone that you can go to and say, I've got a problem, I've got an issue, how can I fix that? that's when you've got the issues. Then on the flip side, when things are traveling well, your accountant should be the one floating the ideas, giving some incentive, stimulating thought processes, throwing ideas around how to manage things, throwing ideas around how to accelerate that wealth creation, or use the profits that you're generating to put into in personal investments, or grow the business in other areas. So that's what I'm talking about, having your back and having access to your accountant. That's the biggest complaint from business owners. They say, I get it all the time, my accountant hasn't responded to my email or phone call for the last eight weeks. Your accountant doesn't have your back if they're not communicating with you. They've got to be available. And that's a really important part of a relationship with a good advisor, is that they've got your back. They're there for you when you need them.
Yeah. And that's always that I really like about you, Paul. You're always there, ready to chat on the phone and answer any questions. So you feel like so you feel like you're moving and you're getting clarity for yourself.
Spot on. There's nothing worse than you need to make a decision on something and you want to run it by your trusted advisor and they don't talk to you. There's nothing worse. It means you're stagnated. You're on hold and you can't move forward. And particularly in the last 6 to 8 months, it's been a very challenging environment, as we're absolutely all aware. And I know as a firm at Kelly Partners in Melbourne, we've really made a point of stepping up and being absolutely available as much as we can, because people need help and have needed help and are going to continue to need a significant level of help over the period as we transition out of where we're at. So if you haven't got an accountant that's giving you that help and that support, find someone that has.
Okay, great. And then the next point was keeping up as you grow. So you obviously, as a firm, you would have businesses that are bigger than yours. So, how does that play into it? Can you still advise people who are growing and growing and growing? Like, what should somebody look out for there?
Absolutely. So the key things around businesses growing significantly is looking for the signs of what are the great parts about where the growth is trending and what are the danger signs about growing quickly. Because sometimes a business can grow too quickly and it can cause them all sorts of issues, such as cash flow issues and that sort of thing. So the key thing around that is engaging with your clients on a regular basis. So the bigger businesses often require a monthly catch-up or a quarterly catch-up. They're not leaving it just to catch up with you and chat to you once a year. You might have a more regular thing. And it goes back to our sort of 62-point checklist. We want to know what people are trying to do. And as their businesses are growing, we're following through that checklist. And we're actually encourage them to say, hey, guys, you've put that down as one of your goals 3 months ago. You haven't done it. When's that put into the plan? Or have you thought about doing things this way? Have you looked at changing this particular piece of software to get some efficiencies within your business to allow that growth to continue? So it's all relative to what's going on in that business person's life. Whether you've got as I said, a startup business that's gone from zero to $200,000 turnover in 12 months or 18 months, their issues are just as important as the businesses with bigger numbers. Bigger numbers doesn't always mean better.
Yeah, definitely. And you've obviously been in business, 30 years or so, and you've grown a successful business yourself, etc. Now, what would you say from all those businesses you've worked with over the years? What are, say, 2 or 3 key things that people do that make them really successful in business?
It's really simple. And so just to touch on that, I started my journey in my accounting practice when I was 23. So I bought my partners out at the age of 23. I decided that I wanted to do my own thing. And one of the things that I learnt very, very quickly was always get people to support me and work with me and help me that knew more than me. Because that meant that I was able to learn from those people that were good at what they did. Too many business owners make the mistake of trying to do everything. They try to do their own books. They try to do their marketing. They try to win new business. They're up at night doing other things that they shouldn't be doing. So the key thing is get someone who's better than you to help you. Get a mentor, outsource, find solutions within your business and get things done, and you focus on what you're really good at.
Yeah.
Another thing is be organised. So one of the things that we recommend with our clients is we have a business mastery and financial health checklist, and I believe you've put some links up there today, and I encourage everyone to have a look at it. There's sort of 10 or 12 points on that checklist that seem very fundamental, but if you score yourself out of 10, a lot of people fail it. So really make sure that you've got the fundamentals right. So have you got the right systems in place? Are your accounts up to date? What are your mechanisms for collecting your money? Are you planning? Do you have a marketing plan? Do you do a budget? All basic things. These sound very fundamental, but so many business owners fail on many levels to do the basics properly.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing here, the two key points there, get people who have different expertise to you to support you in your business. And people who know more than you. So it's like getting your A-team around you. And then the other thing is getting, ticking off all those fundamentals in business so that you're not building a house of cards.
Absolutely. I would hope that through the environment we've been in, people have gotten way better at ticking those basics off because they've been forced to. So if there is one positive to come out of the COVID environment, in line with your question, is that hopefully all business owners will be more organised, more structured, and be better at doing the basic things, because there are plenty that weren't pre-COVID and they've been found out. So, yeah. And hopefully they've made those changes. The key thing, you mentioned the word there, A-team. You need a good A-team, no matter what size your business is, whether you're a startup, whether you're a mature business, whatever it is, you need a good A-team. So look at the people within your circle. Have you got a great accountant? Have you got a great lawyer? Have you got a great mentor? And then break that down from there. If you need things done within your business that you're trying to cover too many bases, i.e. like what you guys offer for many business owners in terms of the VA support, go and get someone to help you do those things that you're not delivering, that when really you're self-critiquing yourself and you're saying, I'm not doing those things, solve that problem, go and get someone to do it for you. It's not a cost, it's an investment in making your business better. Yeah.
And I think it's being realistic with yourself. So I'm a creative, I'm a people's person, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach. I'm not all the other things. And I was just talking to Carmen, Paul, this morning, and we were laughing. We went away on this holiday, and I was sitting on the bed, and Carmen's telling me stories about her boys, and I am doing, paying all the VAs one by one, slogging away on my holiday. I got one VA who was an expert in accounting aspects, and she worked out that I could do one batch.
Yep.
This is a prime example of just how get people to do stuff that you're just not good at.
Yep. I think too, the other thing is, as a business owner, we're always learning. Never, the other mistake is that people say they know everything. I don't know everything. I'm sure you don't know everything. There's always something that we can be better at. So if you can be challenging yourself, if you can be analysing self, if you're a sole trader, you need someone to bounce things off because you haven't got anyone else to talk to. And that's where your accountant can become fairly critical. If you're in a family business with 2 or 3 people, your accountant as a trusted advisor can be critical to the relationship that you have and how you operate. So you've really got to be in a position where you've got those people around you that can challenge you to be better.
Yeah, awesome. And then the 5th point today is help people go global. So especially in today's world, we're no longer, just can be famous in our own backyard and successful in our own backyard.
Yep.
It's good to have a trusted advisor and accountants who can help you reach the rest of the world.
I think that's the answer. It's think big. So if I go back to my journey in our practice, we thought we were really great at doing accounting sort of 10 or 12 years ago, and we were and we are. But I recognised that we actually weren't getting a reach out there to other than our closed network in our Melbourne area. So we went on a journey of building a website that was our 24-hour sales tool, tying that into our marketing plans and our strategies. And that website evolved into a situation where we now operate, where we look after clients all over Australia. So you've got to think big. It's not just about your little area, your little niche. You've got to think big, and the sky's the limit. There are opportunities out there if you work hard enough and you go looking for them and you put the mechanisms and the systems in place to enable things to work and for your business to grow. And from that, our journey of going down that path enabled us to transition. I sold my business to Kelly Partners in November 2019 after starting it in 1992. And one of the reasons that we were attractive to Kelly Partners and why I was attracted to them is we have a global approach. We have a big picture approach to the way we look after our clients, and we want our clients to be better off, no matter how big or small they are. But we're always thinking big. So as an example, I had a chat yesterday with a guy who's an app developer, and he's told me he's created this brilliant concept and it's starting to get traction. And we had a Zoom chat with him in over an hour and a half, and we've now created a bit of a plan where we believe his turnover can grow from about $4,000 a month to about $25,000 a month over the next 3 to 4 months, and what we're going to put in place and implement from there when it does. So he now has a plan. He now has a plan from us about what we think is going to happen, what he needs to do when it happens, what his structure will allow him to do, and how he needed to change his structure if that happens. And he'd had his accountant for 9 years before that, and they'd never had that discussion.
Yeah. So it sounds like, some small discussions can have some big impacts. I
think that's a really key thing. Don't look at your accountant as someone who's costing you money. Yes, there's a cost to it, and you want to balance that cost out with the service that you're getting. But you've got to see your accountant as a trusted advisor who you're investing in, and hopefully they're going to generate a return for you multiple times over what their cost is. And that's a really key part. If you're working with your accountant, just to be able to pick the phone up and ask a question, get an answer, shoot an email, get an answer, and feel comfortable about that advice, it's such an important thing. And it's having been in the industry, I've been in practice since 1992. I hear it and see it all the time. And the biggest frustration I have is when new clients come into us and say that they really lacked a level of communication with their advisor and they didn't understand where they were at and they weren't getting help. That frustrates me, because business owners live and breathe their business 24 hours a day. We put blood, sweat and tears into our business. And you need someone that's going to support you no matter how big you are or what the size of your business is. And you want someone who cares about you at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last point today is around being light-footed to keep people ahead of the curveball. Like, there's all sorts of stuff changing in terms of law and support from the government and marketing tools and all those sorts of things. So tell me about what's really important there.
Yeah, so you need someone who is active and proactive about when things are changing, getting that information out to you. You need the ability for your trusted advisor to be able to get that information to you on a quick and timely basis to enable you to make decisions. So great examples in the environment we've been in, people that have been eligible for, say, the government grants, the $10,000 grants that the state government have put out. If you didn't have information available at certain points in time, you weren't able to get that grant. And I just took a call this morning from a business owner. So she was a startup business in the last 12 months, turned over about $8,000, had about $40,000 in expenses, and she missed out on the first round of grants because her advisor didn't communicate with her that certain things had to be done by certain times, and she just assumed, she acknowledged part of it was her fault, she wasn't on the front foot, but her advisor was not helping her give her that information. We've taken that over, and she also nearly missed out on the second round, but she rang me this morning in tears to say that through the things that we'd implemented and the information we'd given her, she'd been approved last night. She got an email last night for a $10,000 grant. So we've made a difference and we've helped that person. So it's making sure that your trusted advisor is right up to date with what's going on. So through this COVID environment, Kelly Partners, you would have seen from us, there's been a lot of information coming out on a regular basis. And we want to make sure that people are not missing out on anything that they absolutely should be getting, because it makes a massive difference to where they're at in their business life.
Yeah, exactly. And for us as well, Paul's been amazing, getting us support. And Paul even had to correct some guys at the tax office, didn't you, Paul?
Absolutely, we had to dig in. Spot on. We had to actually teach them some of the rules where they kept telling you that you weren't entitled to certain things. So for me, that's a win all around, because you were absolutely entitled to what we got. But the fact that we had to really have your back and really hang in there for a period of time, explain what the situation was, explain why they said no, and then explain to you what we were doing in the background to help you get a result. And that's a great example. We really had to dig in. It would have been easy for someone to say, no, this is too hard. We accept what the ATO is saying, but we train ourselves. We invest a hell of a lot in being up to date with what's going on, and that means that we can, when those situations arise, we can get a result for our clients.
Yeah, and I can't stress how amazing Paul is in being available and having your back and going to bat for you. Like, seriously, it wasn't a simple one. And he went in there and did the job, and he hassled them, and he's direct, to the point, gets the job done, but is also a really kind, nice bloke. So it's a really good combo. So Paul, if people would like to get in touch with you or get a hand on the book, what do they do?
Yeah, so the link that we've provided for you guys today, you can download a free ebook, there's some excerpts of the full book. If anyone wants the full copy book, more than happy for them to contact me, paul.dobson@kellypartners.com.au. We'll organise to send that book to them. We're also more than happy from anyone connecting today to do a discovery session with them. So we'll have a free Zoom chat, talk to them about their business, either give them some guidance, help them do whatever we can to really add some value. So they can just contact me via that email, or they're more than happy to ring me on 0409 355 942. Just mention that they came through this chat today and through the Global Teams connection, and we'll be more than happy to have a chat and see if we can help them out. We love dealing with business owners. I'm super passionate dealing with business owners. Our team loves helping business owners, and I can't do what I do without a great team behind us. So from the point of view of our team in Melbourne, they've worked really hard over the last 6 months. We've got a great team, and we're really keen to help business owners be better off.
Yeah, excellent. So what's that number again, Paul, if people want to give you a buzz?
Yep, so the office number, I'll give that as well. The office number is 9629 6744, or mobile number 0409 355 942.
Excellent. And there's also the link there, which we'll put in the comment section if you're watching this on Facebook or on LinkedIn. Highly recommend, when I did my discovery session with Paul, Carmen and I, it was really good because he's just really down to earth. Some accountants make you feel like a bit of a dick because you don't know enough. But no matter, and our books were a bit of a mess, and, we just joined business together. But it was really supportive and accepting of where we're at, and helped us get really clear on our vision, and also gives you, the lowdown on, on what needs to be fixed or what to expect. And it's, even if you don't decide to go ahead with him, I think it's a really good thing that you can do for yourself and your business. So, Paul, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Yes, I've read the book. I think it's awesome. Lots of great tips in there. So we've got the link there if you'd like to grab that. So thanks very much, Paul. Any parting words for people?
No, look, thanks very much, Maureen. I love having a chat. As I said, I'm passionate about helping small business owners. And I think the key message right now is be positive, plan, for some of those businesses that have been affected by COVID, get your skates on, start looking at what you can do when things start to open, be prepared, plan. If you're falling a bit behind with your advisor, really go and put the heat on them and say, right, I need some more help. But just be positive and really move forward in a positive way. And there's going to be plenty of opportunity post-COVID to grow businesses and get back out there. And those business owners that are organised, passionate, have the right team around them, they're really going to nail it.
Excellent. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
So there you have it. I'm Paul Dobson from Kelly Partners, sharing the ins and outs of getting a good accountant and advisor in your business. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.